Fantastic, Yvonne. And now, let me give you my punchline. It's been a while since I shared a poem with you. In memory and honor of Mzee Daniel Moi, the second president of Kenya and longest serving head of state in Kenya's history, allow me to recite 2 out of the 5 stanzas of a poem called When the Great Trees Fall by Maya Angelou, an American poet, singer, and civil rights activist who passed on in May 2014. And it says, when great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil in silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. I end it there. Mzee Moi was no doubt a huge tree in the forest called Kenya. Permit the metaphor. And that is why his death last Tuesday captured the nation's attention, culminating in a heroic state burial with full military honors, arguably even better than what the country's founding father, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, was accorded 42 years ago. But away from the fanfare, military precision and finesse, the huge turnout to view his body, 213,000 people reported to have made their way to Parliament buildings to pay their last respects to a man who was many things to many people. To some, he was sweet and lovable. To others, he was a villain who evoked more fear than respect. To some critics, the media has glorified Mzee Moi in death and somewhat failed to tell the bitter side of his story. To others, the media did a good job in suspending normal programming to televise Moi's final journey and the farewell salute. In all the back and forth arguments and analysis, the question that has refused to go away is this: just how many unpleasant things should you say about the dead? Back in the years, in my rural village of the Mbegwa, Kwajoki, a certain man passed on. He was shot dead by police, together with his fellow gun-toting gangsters, while violently robbing a bank. During his funeral, the eulogy was as rosy as they come. All the nice things were written. He was praised as a peace-loving, hard-working, generous person and a family man. Not a single mention of his gangster lifestyle, even though the village knew it all well. The priest who was presiding at the funeral mass opted to do the unthinkable. He decided to edit the eulogy. He plainly and boldly stated that the deceased was a thug who robbed his neighbors at gunpoint and met his death in crime. The silence, the shock, a family scandalized. Many years later, my village mates respected that priest and had to confirm and reconfirm eulogies just in case he decided to edit them on air. What am I saying? History is clear and plain that Mzee Moi had his good side and had his bad side, the likable side and the terrible side. So those who had nice things to say about him, whose lives he turned around, should be allowed to hold on to such memories. They should not be demonized for doing so. And those who underwent untold suffering during his rule must also be allowed to remember him as they wish. And now that he's gone, let his soul rest. Let his maker decide. For current and future leadership, copy the good he did and avoid the bad. Such will be the true value of Moi's life and death. And that's my punchline.